speaking of going bald, that's when basketball players get their greatest powers.
Mm-hmm.
Devin Book, shave it off, come to Detroit, son.
Come to Detroit.
I don't know if you're here when we speculated, but the rumor came out that his coach, Mike Budenholzer, says, you're doing too much of this in the huddle. I need you to shut the fuck up.
That's crazy.
And now, obviously, things are kind of spiraling into a little bit of a snowball. They're not in a secured playoff spot, even though they have KD,
I think they're
Bradley
12th
Beal,
in
and
the West.
himself. Devin Booker's going to get traded this offseason. And I want it to be the Detroit Pistons, but some people, and maybe some even in this room. All right, so I don't want to be too aggressive with it. It's Jaden Ivey's going to be this fucking star. Why break up this core? Some people are on that side of it. Me, I'm not.
No.
I am not at all. Jaden Ivey in his best year, so again, didn't get to finish. He got hurt. I'm totally understanding of that. But like 17 points, 4 assists, 4 boards, and I'm very proud of him. 40% from 3 and everything. Like, it's very impressive. Devin Booker's been averaging like 26 for the past like 5 or 6 years. Mm-hmm. What are we doing? Let's be fucking real. And I'm keeping it a buck about this too. And I get this one gets backlash as well. And I give Jaden Ivey the fact that he didn't play with Asar Thompson. But like since he gone down, and you're rotating these shooters, and Beasley seeing more minutes, Tim Hardaway seeing more minutes, and you're seeing more wins. I just think that's a winning recipe for a guy like Cade Cunningham. I compared him last week to a non-athletic version of LeBron James. You go inside the bigger body guard, and you kick out to these shooters. Devin Booker does that. That's what Devin Booker cooks from the outside. Mm-hmm. Devin Booker went to the NBA Finals with a facilitator named Chris Paul. You trade for Devin Booker. What are we doing, people?
You absolutely trade for Devin Booker. There is nobody that should be arguing that. If it is on the table, if it is available, and if you can maintain the pieces you want, like Asar Thompson, Jalen Duren, Cade Cunningham, I mean, that's all really. Then obviously you want to keep Ron too, but
yeah.
You're going to have to give up Ivy for sure. That's where it starts, is with Jaden Ivey. And it's going to be 4 first-round picks, something like that. Yeah, you do it. You do it. He's a star. He is a perennial all-star. He is one of the best shooting guards in the NBA. Like you said, he averages mid-20s for his career. The guy
He's doing that this year. We're losing our fucking minds.
Yeah.
By the way, he's averaging like 26.9. We're like, oh my fucking.
If you got Devin Booker, you would immediately have the best backcourt in the NBA. You would have a guy that can create his own shot, can shoot without, or can play extremely well without the ball, is a good defender too. Because like people who say he's not a good defender,
underrated defender for sure.
He was clamping people in the playoffs when they made that finals run. Like Devin Booker can turn it up defensively, and under JB Bickerstaff, he for sure will. If you had the opportunity to go get Devin Booker, you absolutely do it.
Absolutely. I mean, look, I was called a madman by my very best friend and co-host right here, Spencer. But no, this has always been a possibility. And look, I will get into the logical part of it because, yes, you absolutely do it. If it costs you Jaden Ivey and young players, sure. Are there teams like OKC, Utah, Houston that can offer more enticing packages? Yes. Yeah. But how does it logistically happen? One, we see an NBA superstar force their destination, force their hand of where they want to go. We've seen Anthony Davis do it. We've seen plenty of NBA superstars do that. Kevin Durant, Devin Booker's teammate, to name a few recently. And 2, you go to the table with, would you rather have 1 million picks, or would you rather have guys that you've seen in the NBA? Young guys like Ron Holland that look promising, Jaden Ivey that look promising. If I'm a GM, I would rather have young players I've seen in the NBA than these picks I can just fantasize about these 13-year-old prospects or whatever that are maybe one day hopefully going to be something close to Devin Booker. I would rather have that. So the Pistons absolutely can make this happen, and you do make this happen because Cade Cunningham and Devin Booker, not only is it, like you said, Spencer, the best backcourt in the NBA, but I said this on Friday's show. Look at the lineage of Piston championship teams. They all have all-star backcourts. Elite backcourts. This is the foundation. Then you have your rim protection, your Ben Wallace, your Bill Laimbeer, your Rick Mahorn, your enforcers at the rim. So they have all of the makings of what makes a champion here in Detroit. And certain cities just win certain ways. LA wins in a glamorous way. Detroit wins in a gritty, hard-nosed, bring your lunch pail to work type of way, but that is how they win historically. This is a great move. Devin Booker would embrace the city, if he wants to go anywhere.
He already is.
Yeah, if he wants to go anywhere,
embraces the
he's going
city
here.
outside of the city.
Yeah.
So this is just a no-brainer. People saying that these young guys could end up being some. You know what? Devin Booker is something. Go get him. Cade is something.
Yeah.
Those two are certains.
Yeah.
Ivy, Asar, Duren, Ron Holland, I love them all, and I'm trying to keep all of them. But obviously, you have to give up something to get this. And I am comfortable, very comfortable, giving up uncertains for the certain that is Devin Booker.
Devin Booker is a bona fide something.
Yes.
From year 2 on, been averaging 20-plus points in the NBA, at the NBA level. Like
Absolute
We're
dog.
talking about Jaden Ivey's best year being 17. I'm not sitting here and bullshitting around. You go and get the star if available. I guess the question then becomes, at what cost? Because I'm sure, Nick, unless you just, or where you at with the whole Devin Booker stuff, actually, before we move on?
If you can get Devin Booker, you get Devin Booker, but I'm nervous. I want to pump the brakes here a little bit, fellas.
Okay.
I don't know if this is realistic. And like Chris said, some other teams might be able to give some more better packages when it comes to the draft picks and high draft picks for that matter.
But these NBA guys dictate where they go, man.
Yeah.
We see
do.
it time and time. Like
All
more than
the
any
time.
league.
If Devin
great
Booker
points.
wants to come to Detroit, Devin Booker is going to be in Detroit.
Anthony Davis wanted to come to L.A.
Boston had a better package.
And the owner is
he
Matt
just ended
Ishbia.
up in LA. Yep.
If he's going to help out another
Detroit
team,
player.
he's going to help out the like. There are ties to it,
He tried buying the Pistons.
and I
Making
just
great
think,
points here.
and I think you could realistically offer the Suns Jaden Ivey, like Bobby Clipman, somebody else to like throw in a young guy like that, and 3 or 4 first-round picks, and they would do it.
I think you would have to add Holland. I really do. I think
Ivy,
it would start.
Holland,
I
and
think it
what,
would start
3
with
first-round picks?
two of the prospects. Maybe just maybe.
I think you could do it without Holland.
Yeah, and maybe even some pick
Because if
swaps,
they
too.
don't get rid of one of those supermax deals, and it's not going to be Bradley Beal, they're going to get pillaged and graped by these sanctions.
Yeah.
So they kind of have to do it, unless they're going to win a championship, and they're nowhere near winning a championship. So they got to blow it up.
Yeah, they absolutely do. I mean, look, this is the thing I've been saying all season. This team is not going anywhere. They're one of the highest paid teams in the NBA, and they are 11th in the Western Conference.
Yeah.
Not even in the play-in right now, and your coach is saying tone it down to your superstar player. This is an absolute mess. Yeah. You have to blow it up and just get what you can out of it. I know you don't got your own picks, but that's, again, why you go for a package like Detroit, because you're at least getting young guys that you know what they are. You at least have a bigger clue than some picks that are 5 years in the future while you're sucking now. So it's a win-win. Nick, are you comfortable giving up 2 of these prospects and some picks to get Devin Booker?
Yeah, I am, and I'm a big Ivy guy. Honestly, I think he's going to be a really great NBA player one day, and this team is winning without him right now, but I just still think his athletic ability with his willingness to get better, you saw it this year when it comes to his three-point percentage. I think Ivy's going to be a star, but what if they're like Ron Holland? We've barely seen him this year. We want Asar Thompson with Jaden Ivey. Are you hanging up the phone, or are you taking that call?
I don't want to part from Asar.
I don't. Yeah, Asar is the one that's tough to me.
That's the conversation gets
this
interesting.
deal is not getting done if you're not throwing in Asar. Are you hanging that phone back
Jaden
up?
Ivey's a future star. Jaden Ivey, he the motherfucking man. That's what I'm saying.
That's what they're gonna think. You know, they might think like, we need Asar in this deal, or we're not getting this deal done.
It's tough, man, because like those are the other 2 pieces. The untouchables for me, and this obviously, and realistically, they probably would want him and or Dern. Those are the guys. Duren, Asar, and Cade. I want to keep those. Those are that's my core. For me.
I look both ways, and I'm like, okay, Duren. But I hard stop on Asar. Hard stop on Asar. I really, really, really don't want to give up Asar, because you talk about everything that he brings to the table. Duren, while he is great and improving, and I have been wrong on Duren, so apologies to Duren, but we've seen centers be one of the most replaceable positions in the most replaceable
I don't like the way you're saying that right
Especially when you have an all-defensive center in Stu. You can get a good rim-running big man that can do 80% of Duren for less than the max cost.
Relax.
Am I wrong, though?
Unnecessary
You got carried
shots.
away.
Am I wrong, though?
Yes.
If we're having this conversation, that's real. Point to a team other than Jokic's team, the Denver Nuggets, that was a top. Their top. Any of their top 3 players were a center that won a championship.
Giannis is basically a center.
I don't know. He's like everything.
Even then, Brook Lopez is one of their top 3 players.
No,
I would
Chris
have
Smith was
put
pointing about
Holiday
Simmons
and
before,
Middleton
I was
in there
stumped.
at that time.
I couldn't really come up with anything when he made that point
Yeah,
before.
and Duren would be 4th on the Pistons.
Right. No, I'm not saying that
Chris
he's not
just hates
good
Jalen
or
Duren.
important.
It's all right.
I'm not saying that he's not good or
so
important.
let's say it's just like Ivy Duren and a first
It would take. You're gonna have to give up a lot of picks.
with
think
Ivy and
that's what
Duren.
I don't know about that.
With Ivy Duren in the first, that's a lot.
Ivy Duren and 2 firsts would probably be where.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And I would do it.
Now, I'd rather keep Duren, give him another first. Am I tripping off that?
Oh no,
No.
for sure, for
Ivy
sure.
and
No,
3
I'll give
firsts
you,
would
I'll
be-
give you
Yeah.
4 firsts instead of keep Duren if I can.
What's with the new apron though? I thought you can't do past 2, right?
No, you can. You can do swaps. So you can't trade picks back-to-back years. So they couldn't trade
That's what I'm saying.
2027 and
You go up
2028.
to 5 years, right? Or 4?
Yeah, they could trade 2027 and then agree to take the worst pick between these 2 teams in 2028, for example. That's how it works.
Yeah.
This is a crazy chat here from DNC. Chris Bitten, and I love JD, but I was a little upset Duren wasn't in LAL, as in the Lakers trade, because they wanted him.
What?
How are
What?
you
Why?
upset that
Why
he
are you
was-
upset?
What?
What?
That's insane. That's hate.
Well, yeah, that's hating. Because you're not even talking about like what we would have gotten in return. You're just throwing them in there.
If it's Austin Reeves, I'm
You're
calling
a
him
Lakers
racist.
fan.
If it's Austin
Lakers
Reeves,
fan.
That's a
I'm calling him
Lakers fan
racist.
take.
What?
Ain't got nothing doing none. We're talking about
man.
getting Devin Booker.
I do
here.
I
agree
know.
with Chris at a certain point. Like, you can get a good center for sure much more easily than you can get a Devin Booker. But for Austin Reeves, or for
Yeah.
not even Austin
That's
Reeves.
just racist.
For fucking Dalton Connect?
Yeah. What
Yeah.
Are we doing?
Fuck no, dude. What?
Yeah.
No.
Take
yeah.
Rui Hachimura? Is that what we're doing
Yeah,
here?
there's not a
Number
player
one-
on their roster outside of Luka
Number 1
Doncic or
jersey sales
LeBron
in
James.
Japan. Rui
Maybe he
Hachimura.
meant Lakers fans were upset.
There is not a player on the Lakers roster outside of Luka Doncic or LeBron James that I would rather have than Jalen Duren.
I'm with you.
Exactly.
I agree. And we went and complimented Jalen Reeves' ass in person.
But I was
Courtside.
a little upset Duren wasn't in LAL.
Wow.
Yeah, he had to have meant something else by that.
Yeah. We'll move on. How about that? We got Lions. We got Pistons. I'll put it back up. We'll continue this conversation. Me right now. Darius Slay, Honolulu Blue BS puts in there too. Ivy and 3 first.
I would do Ivy
what I'm
in
starting
3
to
first.
Absolutely. I do Ivy in 6 first.
And if there's anybody out there listening that's like in the Twitter sphere, because I've seen, obviously in this room, that's not, we're all here pro
Yeah.
Booker, but I've seen a lot of pro Ivy or leave the core alone stuff on Twitter, and I'm just, no.
No. Take
No.
what's certain. It's Myles Garrett. It's Myles Garrett. Do you want this 28th overall pick, or do you want a certain Hall of Famer?
It's
Yeah.
not Myles Garrett.
It's not Myles Garrett.
No, he's not quite Myles Garrett, but it's
You're not-
certain versus unknown.
It's not Myles Garrett, but yeah.
He's a 4-time All-Star. He's not
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
10-time All-Star.
Myles Garrett's
he hasn't
already
been
Hall of
here in
Famer.
10 years,
Yeah.
Myles Garrett's
He'll
Hall of
get
Fame.
10.
Yeah.
And the Pistons aren't the Lions.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think right now, too. I was going to say
Maybe
something
like the
else.
Lions last
Lions
year.
last 2
or
years
2
ago,
years ago. Yeah, when they
almost made the playoffs.
Oh, I saw someone give up or bring up the statement, too, like, oh, you want Devin Booker who's not winning games right now. This is what I'm talking about.
Devin Booker
like,
went to a finals.
yeah, you could have good players.
As the
This
best
is my
player.
whole argument, and this is obviously separate, different makeup. But you can have good players, and doesn't mean you have a good fit. That's what they have right now.
Yeah.
They're the worst of it. They have 3 really good players. Horrendous. Fit.
All are the same. They're all the same player.
Literally all the same player. That's a great point. KD maybe plays a little bit more deep or can do more things.
Yeah, KD's it's like the evolution tree.
Yeah.
Like it goes Bradley Beal first stage,
Devin
Booker
Booker
second stage, KD final stage.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
you guys see Beal
that's going
push
up there.
Ant Edwards like going up for that lob.
Bradley Beal's cooked.
That was like some dirty ass shit.
I
Not
didn't
as
see
cooked
that.
as Paul George, but he's cooked.
I love Ant Edwards.
Paul
But
George just
Anthony
shut down the
Edwards.
podcast. Has been averaging like 15 a game.
I'll tell you what, I would trade Duren, Asar, and Ivy for Anthony Edwards.
Yeah. Any price.